Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John. This is Many a True Nerd, and this is Fallout New Vegas No Kill Run. And we join John just having a quiet moment of contemplation in one of our favourite spots, just at Camp Golf, looking out over the lake. And I do just want to have a little moment of contemplation because we need to go over exactly what we've done, because this is the end, and I always wanted to say exactly how much could be done in New Vegas, and I've been running the numbers, and I think it's time to report on that. Alright, you can have your seat back. Hanlon can have his seat. There you go. There you are, Hanlon. It's Hanlon's seat. I shouldn't steal it from him. So what have we done, ladies and gentlemen? What have we achieved as John here in Nevada over these past many hours? Well, alright, let's go over that. Let's go over that right now. First things first, where we stand at this exact moment in time, we have completed 70 quests. That is how many quests that we've got completed at this exact moment in time as an absolute pacifist. No people killed, no creatures killed, and, you know, you've seen literally everything I've done. At no point did a companion do any killing either. I've never had companions with me to do any killing on my behalf. What does that represent as a proportion of the game being completed, though? So by my calculation, a perfect NCR run is composed of 84 completed missions. And the reason I came to that is basically I look at every single mission that can be completed. Because there are some missions that can't be completed for various reasons. Firstly, because, for example, you're not allowed to go too far down the house path or the Legion path because the NCR would refuse to work with you anymore. So that's a barrier. And in other cases, there are missions that are balanced against each other. So therefore, you can only do one, but you can't do both. So, as some examples of that, because I did Ghost Town Gunfight, I could not do Run Good Springs Run. So I'm not going to hold it against myself that I couldn't do Run Good Springs or a Run. I did Restoring Hope, so I couldn't do We Are Legion. And I did Still in the Dark, so I couldn't do Eyesight to the Blind, which is the quest if you decide to do the Brotherhood by deposing McNamara, so that Hardin becomes the leader of the Brotherhood in the Mojave, which obviously I couldn't do because that would have meant they wouldn't have made peace with the NCR. Anyway, so those are the reasons why. So those three quests, for example, are completely out. So I'm not counting against myself. And also, as I say, within those 84 quests that I consider to be the core of a 100% NCR completion, there are like all the main quests and every named subquest that can actually be done. So obviously you'll notice that I'm only at 70 out of those 84. So what you're looking at right now in terms of John is an 82% perfect NCR completion. Right now on screen I'm going to put up all 70 of the quests that I've done in the order in which they were completed. Boom! So there you are. That is what the 70 quests that we've actually done look like. That is all 70 of it in the correct order in which they were done. So let's go over what I didn't do, because what I didn't do is obviously very, very important, so I want to be very clear on the things I didn't do. So 14 quests. 14 quests that theoretically are part of a 100% NCR completion I did not do. What were those quests and why didn't I do them? So let's go over those one by one. So let's start off with the 6 quests that I actually could have done under my rule set, but for various reasons I simply didn't. And you know, some of these were just because of errors in my route planning, and you know, I've learned things, even though I planned this route pretty darn carefully. Like, New Vegas is such a complicated game, you can get stuck and trapped so easily, and I made a couple of mistakes with my route. So, obviously the first we covered in the recent part is round the corner from Nelson, there is Anywhere I Wander, where you have to rescue the NCR. Because I didn't get to that before I was vilified by the Legion, therefore I couldn't complete that, but I could have done very, very easily. Another Legion quest I didn't do, that I simply didn't do because I don't think there was that much it wasn't that interesting because there's no skill to it, it's just a no-kill quest fundamentally, is I Hear You Knocking, where Lucius in the fort tells you to go to the boomers and basically get the firing mechanism from them. I didn't do that because literally there's, as far as I can tell, there's basically no reason you'd ever have to kill to complete that quest, so I didn't. So those are 2 quests that I just didn't do that were Legion connected. Over in Freeside, I very purposefully chose to ignore the Garrett's Debt Collector quest. That simply because in many versions of New Vegas, that quest has a game-breaking glitch that I have had trouble with in the past. I don't know if it impacts the particular version of the game I'm playing, but basically if you do Debt Collector and you collect the hat of what's his name, the chap you have to take out or talk down on the strip itself. When you get that guy's hat in your inventory, basically, when you turn in that hat, the game will then consistently crash pretty much whenever you go through a load zone. I've had that before; it's game breaking, so I just did not take Debt Collector purely because I was scared of that happening to me. So if you're a braver person than me, feel free to do Debt Collector. It's very easy to do with relatively low speech skills. It's just I didn't do it because I was scared of a game-breaking glitch that very commonly occurs when you do Debt Collector. Over in Gomorrah, I didn't complete Bye Bye Love, and that was purely because I did it all in the wrong order. Joanna disappears off the map in I don't know whether it's a glitch or if it's an intentional story thing. I like to believe that it's an intentional story thing because Caccino is, if you read his journal, he's obsessed with Joanna, and when you make him the leader of Gomorrah, Joanna immediately, permanently disappears off the map, so I think it's actually a really creepy little story thing. It's probably not, it's probably a glitch, but basically Joanna disappears off the map, so I should have done Bye Bye Love before I completed How Little We Know. I didn't, so I couldn't complete How Little We Know, so sorry about that. But again, that's a quest that basically doesn't involve any killing. The only bit where there's any killing at all is right at the end, where the Omertas confront Joanna and her boyfriend out in Freeside. But basically, if you have a speech of, I think it's 80, you can talk them down. So again, it's basically just it's another quest where a high speech skill can get you through relatively easily. There's no tanking or anything required. It's a very easy skill. And meanwhile, right behind me in the Lucky 38, I didn't do one of the house quests that I could have done because unlike the Legion or the NCR, where your first big quest with them is a big, long single quest with lots of individual parts. So, for example, you get For the Republic Part 2, which has got loads of mini quests within it. Or the Legion, where there's lots of quests within the first part of Caesar. House doesn't have a single overarching quest. He's got lots of little ones. So he's got the House Always Wins Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, Part 5. Basically, you're allowed to complete the House Always Wins Part 3. If you complete Part 4, NCR and Legion refuse to work with you anymore. I, however, turned in Part 1 and 2. I didn't turn in Part 3, which is the Boomers, but when I went to do it, I'd also already completed How Little We Know. So if I'd have spoken to House, I'd have automatically completed 3 and 4 in a conversation. I would not have had a choice to turn in 3, but not to turn in 4. So as a consequence of that, I couldn't turn in 3, even though I had the ability to. So it's just because I went there in the wrong order. I should have, after the Boomers, gone and spoken to House, and only then done the Omertas. So again, that was just a route planning error, and I apologise for that. So I couldn't do the House Always Wins Part 3. And then the other one is, quite simply, the Sunset Sarsaparilla mission, A Valuable Lesson. And, well, let me clear. There's 2 Sunset Sarsaparilla missions, Legend of the Star and A Valuable Lesson. Legend of the Star cannot be completed. Fundamentally, even if you get the 50 caps, the 50 star bottle caps you're supposed to get, that automatically fails anyway. That quest is supposed to fail, it cannot be completed. A Valuable Lesson, however, can be completed, but I didn't do it. That one's purely just, I'm sorry, it's basically laziness on my part, sorry about that, because I have got 19 Sunset Sarsaparilla Star bottle caps. The reason this is such a nightmare is, obviously, killing is a really good way to get Sunset Sarsaparilla Star bottle capped, because if you kill Malcolm Holmes and if you loot the corpse of the guy that woman kills outside Nipton, and then if you kill her too, then you get, I think it's about 15 or so between all of those guys you'll get. And obviously, I could have also just gone around opening a lot more Sunset Sarsaparilla, but getting up to 50 is just a grind. If you really want to, literally just, keep getting Sunset Sarsaparilla out of everywhere. I could have hunted them down. They're lying all over the place. You can go and find them, but honestly, it would have taken me like another God only knows, like 5-10 hours just looking up the locations of them and going to them. So I didn't do that. Sorry, I didn't think it would be a particularly interesting video, me literally going around hunting for sunset sarsaparilla star bottle caps. If you want to know where they are, there's plenty of video guides that will walk you through that. So again, so that's 6 quests that I could have done completely legitimately within my rule set that I didn't. So what does that mean? That means overall you could have completed 76 out of a possible 84 missions within this rule set of no killing, no animal killing, no robot killing, and you're not allowed to have any companions kill on your behalf. Everything that you saw me... That strippers on roller skates, excellent. Everything that you saw me do, plus those 6 that I've just described to you, which mostly was just route optimization, that would give you a 90% perfect completion in Fallout New Vegas, the NCR route, with no killing whatsoever. So that's 76 out of 84. What about the other 8, which I'm saying cannot be completed under my rule set? Let's go over those quickly. Well, first up, there's Birds of a Feather. That one's a pretty obvious one. Obviously, Birds of a Feather, you can't proceed beyond the second phase of it unless you bring Cass to be murdered by Jean-Baptiste. So, obviously, I'm not doing that because that's just openly leading someone to their death. So, obviously, that's out. Then there's 3-card bounty. Obviously, I did show how to complete Drive and Defy, but then there's Violet and Cook, who I cannot find any way of dealing with them in a no-kill fashion. So 3-card bounties on the list too. Here's a quest that I think actually a fair few people listening, you might not have even heard of this quest. This is kind of one of the more obscure quests in the game. What I'm looking at down there at the moment is the entrance to Vault 34. Vault 34 is the heavily irradiated vault, and the reason most people go into it when they're playing New Vegas is to get the pulse gun as part of the quest with Veronica, which is one of the answers to Veronica's quest. She asked you to go and get the pulse gun. And also there's a locked armory at the end of it with a load of really good weapons, including a couple of unique weapons. So worth going to in that regard. What a lot of people miss, however, is there's a separate quest hidden inside that vault. One that you can activate by going to the pump station that's close by to the Aerotech Park. And basically what's happened is there's some people trapped in the Vault 34 reactor, and either you can choose to release them by venting the radiation out of the vault, but that causes the fertility of the land on the NCR sharecropper farm to go down, or you can leave them to their fate, but you know that the agriculture is saved, and there's a question is, what's actually for the greater good in that regard? Is it to save them but potentially jeopardise the food supply, or save the food supply but, openly lead some people to die? That quandary was not why I didn't do it, however. The reason I didn't do it is because literally the only way to navigate Vault 34 is to get key cards from the Vault security. And the Vault security are ghouls, and ghouls cannot be pickpocketed. The only way to get something out of a ghoul's inventory is to kill it. So I physically could not go through Vault 34 without the key cards, and I physically couldn't get the key cards without killing, because there's literally no other way to get the key cards out of the relevant ghoul's inventory. Can't be done. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there is no way to navigate Vault 34 without being willing to kill the ghouls who are holding key cards. Here we are in Novak, and obviously we are at the scene of a murder that did not take place thanks to my intervention. Obviously, as you're fully aware, I didn't do either of the boon quests. In the most recent part, at the end of Bleed Me Dry, I did show how both of the boon quests can be done in a no-kill style. However, the death of Jeannie Mae Crawford, as deserved as it might be, given she did sell, Boone's wife into slavery, has not happened in this universe. Jeannie Mae Crawford is alive, and Boone can continue doing his sniping. I mean, obviously that's Manny, that's not Boone, so Boone never joined me. So yeah, both one for my baby, and I forgot to remember to forget, they never happened in this run. But yeah, obviously I did actually show how I forgot to remember to forget can be done if you're willing to do something as utterly immoral as basically sacrifice every refugee and every NCR soldier in Bitter Springs to do the fighting for you. And finally we come to the area of the game that the devs just seem to sort of forget about when they were making this game able to be completed in no-kill style. For whatever reason, Camp Searchlight has 3 separate quests that can't really be completed in an effective no-kill style. I don't know if they were like trying to make a point that this particular area of the map is utterly brutal or something because of the bomb that was detonated here, but 3 quests here can't be completed effectively. So we've got firstly, there's All Go Together, where Captain Aster basically tells you to get the dog tags off the ghouls. There are 9 ghouls who are ferals who are running around the town, and 1 ghoul who's not feral yet, who's just in the house hiding. You can talk the ghoul who's hiding into giving you the dog tag, and the other ghouls, you just have to find a way to kill them, because again, ghouls, they have the item in the inventory, but ghouls can't be pickpocketed, so you just have to find a way to kill them. Obviously, it's not that difficult to do, because as you can see right here, there's a load of NCR troopers patrolling all around the town, so you can aggro the ghouls and lead them straight to the NCR, who will open fire on sight. But that's not right. It's not right for a no-kill run. Deliberately antagonising an enemy to lead them into fire isn't right at all. Admittedly, you could argue it wasn't right when it did it back in your own backyard, but I don't know. For some reason, this feels particularly fake, because, yeah, it's just not right. After that, if you do complete All Go Together, then you can activate Eye for an Eye, where basically you have to first steal some stuff from Cottonwood Cove. That's easy, that can be done no kill. But then you actually have to open the... then you have to open up a truck that's got radioactive barrels in it that's on Cottonwood Overlook, and that basically makes radioactive barrels fall into Cottonwood Cove, rendering the area radioactive. So the Legion is supposed to be wiped out. That's what the law says. Technically, I'm pretty sure doing that doesn't add any kills to you at all. It doesn't add any kills to your stats, but I'm almost certain that it counts as the game says it's you're wiping out the Legion at Cottonwood Cove. So that's not really right for a no-kill run either. And then finally, there's obviously Wheel of Fortune, which I did briefly attempt to do, but even on the odd chance, basically like the guys who you're escorting, the mercenaries you're going with, they're so farcically weak they couldn't even make it past the ghouls in the town. So even if you clear out the town of ghouls as part of Eye for an Eye before you start that, there's no way to clear out the Rad Scorpion Queen who's in the firehouse until you actually arrive there with the mercenaries. And they will always see the Rad Scorpion Queen, so they will always attack her, because there's no way they'll miss her because she's right in the front room. And if you can't help, basically, as far as I'm concerned, I don't see any way they'd ever be able to beat the Rad Scorpion Queen. So I'm pretty sure Wheel of Fortune can't be completed without killing either, because you need to kill the Rad Scorpion Queen. Because if you die, then maybe it could be done. You'd have to clear out all the ghouls ahead of time, and you'd have to help weaken the Rad Scorpion Queen so that they could finish her off, and then you just have to run when they betray you at the end of that quest. But blimey, I'm actually not sure. I think the quest actually isn't completed until you've actually killed them when they attack you anyway. So even if you could kill the Queen, I don't think that's the quest completed. So yeah, basically 3 quests here that can't be done in a no-kill style. But let's say for the sake of argument that I was completely lacking in any sort of principles, and I was willing to say, as long as neither me nor a companion got the kill, I'm cool with it happening. Under those circumstances, how much of the game could be completed? So here's what can be done. All Go Together can be done. As I mentioned, in theory, if you were willing to just lead all the ghouls straight into the fire of the NCR, can happen. And Eye for Eye, just the same. As I say, the game does not actually add any kills into your kill tally for releasing the radioactive barrels, so that can be completed too. The boon quests, both of those can be completed, as I have actually specifically shown how to do in the last part. The other 4 quests cannot be done. 3-card bounty, I cannot for the life of me find a way to kill Cook or to kill Violet without yourself or a companion getting involved. I just can't see how to make it work. I just cannot. I've tried so much. Birds of a Feather, you'd think you'd be able to, but it can't be done. And the reason why it can't be done is the only way that you can complete both Heartache by the Number and Birds of a Feather would be if you completed Heartache by the Number first, and then afterwards you lead cast to Birds of a Feather. But if you complete Heartache by the Number in a no-kill fashion, then Birds of a Feather will be automatically failed because the Vangrass will already be hostile to you. Whereas if you can bleed cast to Birds of a Feather before Heartache by the Number is completed, obviously you can't complete Heartache by the Number anymore. So basically, if you were to want to complete Birds of a Feather, you wouldn't be able to do Heartache by the Number anymore, so you would still be losing out. So that can't be done, unfortunately. Wheel of Fortune, I personally believe that cannot be done in a no-kill fashion without you or a companion having a kill. I don't believe there will be a realistic way for that to actually occur. I'm willing to be corrected if you think that's not the case, but I personally think that cannot be done. And Hard Luck Blues, as I say, that's just physically impossible because you cannot navigate Vault 34 without killing the ghouls to get their cards, and because you're in a vault, no one else is in there but you or a companion you bring along. There's nowhere else, there's not even anyone you can lead the ghouls into, so that cannot be done. So in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, based on what I've told you, what I've shown you, and what I've learned from doing this, and this isn't my first time doing this is like my third or fourth time doing this. I've done multiple practice runs for this in order to try and create an optimized route, and even then I was learning new stuff while I was recording this final version for you. I believe now that the optimal completion rate for a no-kill run when neither you or a companion can have a kill against your name is 80 out of the 84 completable NCR quests can be done. With neither you nor a companion having a kill against your name, my view is you can complete 95% of this game. And let me just tell you, when I started this, I think the first words I said when I was explaining the very first part why I wanted to do this, I wanted to show that Fallout New Vegas was a spectacularly flexible game. This is a game that most people, treat as an action-adventure shooter. It's a gun game. It's a game where 90% of the items you'll be carrying and 80% of the weight you're carrying at any particular time are guns. And yet you can it's not just that you can complete this game no kill way if you go the Yes Man run. It's not just that you can complete this game in a full proper ending with the NCR in a no-kill run. The fact that you can complete this game in a full proper ending with the NCR run and complete 95% of all the available marked quests and do all of that without killing or without a companion of yours killing. That is spectacular, ladies and gentlemen. That is amazing. That is why I did this run in the first place. This is just a wonderful game. This is deservedly... This game deserves to be considered one of the best games ever made. This is why I think it's one of the best games ever made. But you know what? John here might only have 83% completion. We could have got 90% within my rule set. Even, being quite fuzzy and refusing to do things like all go together an eye for an eye. But you know what? John's not that sort of a person. John is a good person who believes in doing things by the spirit, not just the letter of the law. So, you know what? 83% completion of an NCR run without killing and doing that in a way that I think is morally justifiable. Yeah, I'm happy with that. But, unfortunately, with the greatest regret, but you know what? I think it's time. I think it's time to follow more back to her office and have a chat with her. It's time to go and meet Oliver, and it's time for the end. More, let's have a chat. Oh, so I'm level 27. I think I forgot when you actually get the experience points for Eureka. Was that the experience points for Eureka, or was that the experience points for the Republic? No, that's the experience points for the Republic Part 2. Let's just put Barter up. Why not? Let's put Barter up to 67. Do it. Yep.
Sir, I don't know what happened. A bunch of Legionnaires just stormed into the power station.
Oh no!
Into the power station? How is that possible? You need to make your way to this camp they have on the eastern bank and take out the Legate. Go kill those bastards.
I think you may have been woefully misinformed about what I do, General. Okay, armor on, and now it's time to just run straight through. Just ignore literally everyone and just basically keep heading in a straight line. The Legion and the NCR will keep each other busy most of the time, so you really don't need to worry about that. Just literally keep running. Keep yourself running. The Legion, for the most part, can't really chase very effectively. and they will only turn on you after they've dealt with the NCR that are immediately in their path. So this really isn't that difficult. This is just a case of basically just run. I mean, the NCR actually do pretty well, all things considered. So yeah, just keep running through. I haven't actually used any stim packs yet, and I've barely lost any health. The NCR will incidentally almost certainly lose, but they will do well enough that it will distract the Legion for the moment at least. So, wow. NCR are actually doing pretty darn well in this case. So I'm just going to run up and around. Legion are trying to do what they can, but problem of course is Legion, so many of them are melee that if you're determined to just run, not much they can do really.
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
I feel like you guys could be doing something more useful right now. The visitor center itself is pretty quiet, so take this moment to pop some stim packs or drink some Sunset Sarsaparilla or something if you want to. Okay, out we go. And now it's time to just storm our way along the dam. Pretty much we're just going to be running straight through this. Just going to charge straight through all this. Let the NCR draw the fire. Pretty much we're just running straight over the dam at this point. Legion will be temporarily distracted by the NCR, which gives you plenty of time to run over and straight ahead. That's plenty more Legion coming out that door there. This time they're coming straight for you. I've got the stim packs to tank this. I'm alright. I'm alright. I'm not doing too bad. More Legion straight ahead. And straight in here. And that to me sounds like boomers. Whoop. Excellent. There's the... we've just nipped out onto the top there. And there's the mighty flash fire from the boomers. Excellent. Get a good view of it from up here. Here's a nice touch. Because I got the followers on side, there's loads of followers first aid boxes here. So there is a ton of stim packs and super stim packs. I'm pretty sure that's only there because earlier, of course, I got the followers to support the NCR, so that would not normally be there otherwise. So we are. I think we're about to run out into what's pretty much the final charge. So before we do, and before we're pretty much in fire for the rest of the game, let's just do a quick glance at who we are and what we did. Let's check our reputation. We're idolised by the boomers. We're liked by the Brotherhood of Steel. Vilified by Caesar's Legion, that's a shame. We're idolised by the Followers of the Apocalypse. Liked in Freeside. Idolised in Goodsprings. Idolised by the Great Khans. Idolised by the NCR. Idolised in Novak. Powder Gang is a mix, that's a shame. Idolised in the Strip. Idolised by the White Glove Society. That's a pretty good result, I think. I'm pretty happy with that result. Meanwhile, yeah, we're now up to 71 quests, thanks to For the Republic Part 2. We've killed no one. We've killed no creatures. No robots disabled, just to prove to you that I've never disabled a robot either. We've taken 129... I thought we'd have taken way more than 129 stim packs. Obviously, we've been doing an awful lot of speech, though. We've got 128 speech successes to our name, and I tell you what, we've only picked one pocket, so all things considered, I think we've been very moral in all sorts of ways. So there we are. Let's continue running, shall we?
Alpha Squad reporting in.
Oh, here come the NCR.
We've been assigned to ensure you make it to the Legate. How can we be of assistance?
Oh, Alpha Squad. Obviously, I have speech 85. I could tell them to just push on, in which case they'd be extremely useful at drawing the fire, but no. That's not right. It's not fair. Ladies and gentlemen, too many people have already died here at the dam. Mighty empires and old enemies and great warriors. Too many people have died, and I swear to you, ladies and gentlemen, not one more. Not one more dies today. Get yourself safe. Go to your family.
Confirmed. We'll fall back. Good luck.
Just me then. Just me running forwards. Oh, but we've got some friends here at least. We've got some friends here. Yeah, it was the sound of a vertibird arriving. There we are. I think they've more or less given up. That's fine. A few more coming. Nothing too bad. Oh, that dog doesn't care. Through into the camp. Nope.
There you are.
Hello. It's alright, chill out. Let's relax. A lot of people in this final bit of the game, they don't actually have guns. There's a lot of ballistic fists and things like that lying around. The thing, of course, about melee people is they're really easy to dupe with cliff faces, so yeah, nothing too bad. So just run straight around. Here come two members of the NCR who will get killed immediately, pretty much. Yep, they get killed in one shot. And now it's time to go and chat with the Legate.
And who are you to come before me? You bear the insignia of the bear, yet you do not wear it as a soldier of the West wears it.
I don't. Not a soldier. Very proud of that, thank you very much. Maybe you will listen to reason. Maybe we can solve this without further bloodshed.
Save your speeches. We will take Hoover Dam and move forward until our feet crush the setting sun beneath them.
Move forward? You spent years trying to take this place, Lanius.
Hoover Dam has never seen the mass strength of the East. Only legates such as Graham, who deserve the fire Kaiser blessed him with.
Caesar.
Now,
Caesar. And then, what about the East, Lanius?
You speak in circles. What of the East? I am the East, and I will prove it this day.
And if you need all of the East to cross the West...
The victory here shall be swift. Our forces shall take the dam, secure it, then build a road west on the bodies of the NCR.
And then the final speech check, speech 100. And remember, if you are wearing power armor, many power armor helmets have -1 charisma, so it will knock your speech down to 98 even if you've maxed it. So use a meeting people or take your helmet off before you start this. Very important. So tell them, it's not the strength of the West that'll slow you down, it's the weakness.
Your weakness? You seek to thwart me by claiming the Legion is too strong for you?
NCR's weakness is its size. It'll take an entire army to hold the West.
That does not mean we would not succeed.
Eventually, but if you move your whole army west, you lose the East. Can't have both.
The East was a hard-fought campaign. Even now, Kaiser drew too much of the Legion's blood needed there for this. Hoover Dam is but a place. I will not have it be the gravestone of the Legion, whether quickly, or as you describe, slowly, by attrition.
There is victory in wisdom, Legate, which means in many ways, we both get to win today. And I think that's the greatest victory of all.
Know that I shall return east. I shall not remain there forever. On that day, the strength of the bear shall be tested. If the West is one day filled with ones such as you, perhaps it shall be a worthy fight indeed.
And one more final speech check. If you feel that war matters that much, perhaps you'll see things differently in time, Lanius. Maybe you'll come round to my way of thinking.
Until the day when our armies meet again, NCR, I shall wait for you on the battlefield.
And there it goes. He runs. The rest of the Legion, however, is not quite so immediately forgiving. So just, yep, they keep attacking you, so you just keep running. But it's time to go meet Oliver again, nice and quick. Before we do, one final check-in for you, ladies and gentlemen. People killed none, creatures killed none. Let's go and have a word with Oliver. Oh dear, the Legion are just chilling out here.
Fine bit of work back there. Truth told, I'm surprised you made it out of there in one piece.
You know what, General? It's been grand, but I think I've done what I can do here. I think it's time for John to go and find other places to help. Other places need me too.
Can't keep the courier spirit down, eh? Fair enough. We'll clean up here. Kind of curious how this is going to pan out in the long run. But I guess history will tell us in its own sweet time.
And if not that, there'll be a nice little PowerPoint presentation. And here it comes now.
The courier who had cheated death in the cemetery outside Good Springs cheated death once again. And the Mojave Wasteland.
So, let's find out what we did. Let's find out all the good things we did.
The new California Republic celebrated its second victory at Hoover Dam, establishing definitive control over the entire Mojave Wasteland. Soon after, they negotiated terms to annex the Strip, Freeside, and many surrounding communities. The Mojave Wasteland,
but they negotiated it. You know, it
had
sounds pretty
entirely
peaceful.
fallen under the NCR's banner. The courier, fair and even-handed in her dealings throughout the wasteland, was honored by the NCR for her support of the military at Hoover Dam. She was presented with the Golden Branch, the highest civilian decoration given by the Republic.
Oh, thanks very much.
Tabitha and Rhonda went east, through Caesar's land. Occasionally, tales of their exploits found their way back west, though few believed them. Eventually, the stories concerning the duo were collected and published, and proved to be quite popular with children.
Nice to know they have a happy ending.
Convinced that his time as a gunslinger was past, Raoul made peace with the idea of growing old. After traveling with the courier for a time, he retired and settled down in outer Vegas, where he would spend his days fixing.
You see, I'm happy with that. He's, put down the guns.
With the help of the gun runners, the Boomers developed a healthy trading relationship with the NCR. Eventually, the Boomers began wandering out into the wasteland, while still preventing outsiders from entering Nellis.
Okay, so we've opened up the Boomers.
The NCR in the Mojave Wasteland declared an official truce.
Truce!
Despite continued hostilities between the two in the West. As per their agreement, the NCR handed over all suits of salvaged power armor, and in return, the Brotherhood helped patrol I-15 and Highway 95.
Oh, start of a beautiful friendship.
The peace with NCR served to ease Veronica's worries about the Brotherhood's immediate future. Still, a distance had arisen between her and her fellow members that would never be bridged.
We've made Veronica less worried.
She began secluding herself in crumbling libraries of the old world, learning of promising technologies she knew the Brotherhood would never adopt.
Never weakened by NCR, the Fiends staged an attack against Camp McCarran during the Second Battle of Hoover Dam.
Oh well.
Though NCR repulsed the Fiends, they suffered heavy losses in the process.
Oh, I'm sorry, Fiends.
After the NCR's victory at the dam, in part thanks to follower medical support, NCR allowed the followers to care for refugees as they see fit. Old Mormon Fort expanded its services and was able to aid more people, becoming a refuge for the less fortunate citizens of New Vegas.
That's why you have them allied with the NCR.
Would be able to remain independent of NCR rule. But he was glad that Caesar's Legion had been stopped at Hoover Dam. He tended to the sick in Freeside for a while longer, then returned to NCR territory to become a teacher with the followers there.
I think Arcade's happy enough there.
saw more trade along I-15 after NCR gained control of the Mojave Wasteland. But with that came a heavy burden of the Republic's taxes. Some old-timers, unable to handle the cost, were forced to move on, grumbling all the while.
In the years following the destruction of Cassidy caravans, NCR used evidence of the plot to blackmail the Crimson Caravan and the Van Graffs. NCR enacted strict trade laws with little resistance, strengthening their supply lines and their position in the Mojave. Cass survived to see the NCR flag flying proud over Hoover Dam, and thought for a moment, this is what a hero must feel like.
Oh, Cass,
She was about to tell the courier not to get too proud of herself. Then she figured, she knew that already. So she laughed, said fuck it all, and raised a bottle to the dam and the ones who had fought for it. As far as she was concerned, the whole thing was proof that playing out a bad hand can pay off in the end.
Oh, Cass got a really good ending.
Like the courier was holding the cards.
During the Battle of Hoover Dam, the Great Khans quickly evacuated Red Rock Canyon and headed north and east into the plains of Wyoming. There, they reconnected with the followers of the Apocalypse and rebuilt their strength. Bolstered by ancient knowledge of governance, economics, and transportation, they carved a mighty empire out of the ruins of the Northwest.
Thanks to the courier and Lily, a cure for the Nightkin schizophrenia was found shortly after Dr. Henry's experiment concluded. Nightkin and other super mutants in the wasteland flocked to Jacobstown.
Oh, Nightkin cured, the Khans, a grand new home.
Lily continued to take her medicine at half doses, and although she remembered her grandchildren, her mind remained muddled and confused. Eventually, she parted ways with the courier and traveled west, seeking the remnants of her past.
After the NCR victory at Hoover Dam, the temporary truce between them and the Kings blossomed into a full-scale relief effort for the people.
Yay!
While the NCR made repeated entreaties that Freeside join the Republic, the Kings steadfastly maintained their independence.
After Ray's brain was transplanted into Rex's cybernetic body, it took Rex some time to adjust to the old scrapyard dog's memories. Eventually, Rex's mind settled peacefully, melding his own memories with that of long travels with old Lady Gibson.
Oh,
Shaped up by the courier's advice, the Misfits distinguished themselves during the Legion's attack on Camp Golf.
By being nice.
Mags was finally promoted to sergeant, and the rest of the Misfits received an official commendation.
Oh, well done, guys.
They continued to serve with distinction for many years.
Though Novak was a low-priority target for the Legion, many of Novak's citizens died in its defense. In the weeks that followed, several bright followers returned to Novak to help restore its defenses, allowing it to remain independent of NCR.
Oh, good old bright followers.
After Hoover Dam, the leaderless powder gangers at the correctional facility vanished into the wastes, leaving the prison empty. The correctional facility became another abandoned ruin in the wasteland, its carcass occasionally picked over by enterprising prospectors.
After the majority of the Vault 19 powder gangers joined the Great Khans, the weaker members scattered throughout the Mojave Wasteland. Though a few managed to erase their past, most never survived the journey.
After Hoover Dam, NCR helps rebuild Prim as a major stopping point on the Long 15. Though Prim's citizens chafe under NCR's taxes, they benefit greatly from the increased protection and merchant traffic.
You see, I think that they're doing well. God damn it, this is where I regret forgetting to put subtitles on.
Worst fears, NCR's Rangers persevered and distinguished themselves during the Second Battle of Hoover Dam. The Rangers, along with NCR's many troopers, shared the glory of victory. Hanlon wisely stayed out of the spotlight, crediting General Oliver's leadership for NCR's success. After a brief fanfare, Hanlon stepped down as chief and returned to the peace and quiet of his ranch outside of Redding.
See, that all worked out.
After their bold arrival at Hoover Dam, the remnants disappeared as quickly as they came. Legends of their power spread throughout the Southwest, a reminder of why people once feared the sight of vertibirds in the sky.
And so the Courier's Road came to an end, for now. In the new world of the Mojave Wasteland, fighting continued, blood was spilled, and many lived and died just as they had in the old
No,
world.
none died. That was the point.
Because war never changes.
Oh, Ron Perlman. I think you'll find I changed it, man. I think you'll find this courier changed it. One thing I do want to very quickly add, very important addendum. Had I had the subtitles on, you would have been able to see Edie's solution. Because I completed Edie My Love by taking Edie to the followers of the Apocalypse, the text would have said, and what Edie was trying to say to me through its bleebles and bleeps was, with its logs cleared and its systems upgraded, Edie remained a vigilant and constant companion to the courier. The followers of the Apocalypse used the information recovered from Edie on Poseidon energy to develop new methods to harness the energy of the sun. So, yeah, I think that's a pretty good ending for Edie too. I'm happy with that ending for Edie. I'm pretty happy with those endings overall. I think we got some lovely stuff there. I'm kind of, I'm especially thrilled. This is why it's really important, even though there's no difference in the text you get, why you do little extra bits in the quest. Like, I think the Great Khans in particular, it's really important, even though there's no difference to the result you get in game, whether you just kind of give Papa Khan a really, inspiring speech to get the Khans to decide to leave during the Battle of Hoover Dam, or whether you go and get them the text about the Mongols. But if you get them the text about the Mongols, you get such a better ending. There was only kind of a couple of points where I suppose maybe in retrospect some of the endings could have ended better. I feel bad for Goodsprings chafing under the taxes and old timers, presumably including Easy Pete, having to move on because he couldn't afford the taxes anymore. That's a shame. Obviously, it's sad that a fair few NCR died at McCarran during the battle at Hoover Dam because the Fiends launched an assault, and with Motor Runner alive and with Cook and Violet both alive, so free card bounty not completed. They're supposed to have inflicted heavy casualties on the dam. That's unfortunate. And I suppose the Powder Gangers of Vault 19, it sounded like a few of them died during the initiation rituals. I feel bad for that. In retrospect, maybe I should have just got them to turn themselves over to the NCR. Maybe they'd have been better off in prison. And I think we can be really satisfied with how all the companions ended up too. Veronica, was worried about the future of an isolationist brotherhood, but she was reassured by the fact that they're now starting to work together with the NCR in a much more open way. Arcade, he wanted an independent Vegas, but sounds like he's pretty happy with the NCR having defeated the Legion at least, and he even went back to NCR territory to become a teacher. So I think that's pretty positive. Raoul's put his guns down and just settled down into a quiet retirement. Maybe a little bit disappointing for him, but he's not killing anyone. He's living a peaceful, happy life, doing the things that he wanted to do and things he enjoyed, so that's good. And Cass, I'm thrilled by Cass. Cass's ending was magnificent. She sounded like she knew what being a hero felt like, and she knew that everything was worth it. Brilliant. I'm happy with Cass's ending. That's fantastic. There we are. That's an ending that, as far as I can see, pretty much everyone survived. I'm very happy with how that ending went. So, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. That is the end. You have seen everything that there is to see, and that sums it up, doesn't it? The NCR coming over here, the representative of California coming up to the bloke who represents Nevada, shaking hands, partners, friends, allies. That sums up the John way of doing things. And that is the end of New Vegas. For at least the moment. There's not going to be New Vegas on this channel just for a little bit. We're going to have, obviously, we've got Fallout 3 going on at the moment. We're going to have a pause of New Vegas at the very least. And what a shame, because what a beautiful, amazing game this is. Like, I went into this specifically wanting to show what this game could be, what this game could do, how much flexibility there was, how amazing it was a game this big and complex could be completed in absolute pacifist, and I'm thrilled with the way it's turned out and the way people have responded to it. So, you know what? Thanks. You guys make this all worthwhile. But, yeah. New Vegas, little pause just for a little while, but we'll be back. When Fallout 3 Kill Everything ends, then at that time we will begin something new in New Vegas. I have something planned for New Vegas. Something very, very special. Something I think you will find way more interesting than if I just said, I'm just going to do the DLC. What I'm planning in New Vegas truly is very, very special. It's a brand new run. It's a brand new rule set. I've never seen it before, and it's kind of mad I'm even planning it, because it's something that may be completely impossible. I don't know. But I think it's going to be really, really interesting. That's what I'm planning next. I'm planning all sorts of things next. I've got so many ideas for Fallout, kind of to keep me going. But, you know what? In the meantime, there's all sorts of new stuff. If you love your pacifist stuff, obviously we have Mass Effect, no guns. That's coming very, very soon. I've got Walking Dead coming up soon too. That's kind of coming up in the pretty near future. So, yeah. We've got all sorts of, and Fallout 3 continues. Fallout 3 Kill Everything carries on. Why not Wednesday? I'm really thrilled with how the first episode of that went, by the way. The episode where I did GoldenEye Reloaded 007. I'm planning to make that a regular part of the weekly schedule too, because I was thrilled with how many people responded to that. I thought that was fantastic. So plenty more to come, but for the time being, I think John's earned a drink. I think John has earned a drink over here in Good Springs. In the meantime, until we come back to New Vegas for the final time, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. I've been John. This has been Many a True Nerd, and it has been a pleasure to bring you Fallout New Vegas, No Kill. Thank you very much, and goodbye.